have you brought me here? My task was complete. I found you. I brought blood to the ice, gave flesh to the ground. Your wishes were fulfilled. I know I nearly failed you. I know my blood was about to be taken. But then I found them by the cave. My life has been as your slave. How can you doubt me? I followed the wisdom of the scrolls, done all that they commanded, and yet still it is not enough. And this is not my body. This is the man I sacrificed. What kind of cruelty is this? I did all that I was meant to, and then let the shadows of death envelop me. What more do you want of me? Oh. Of course. And in this form, perhaps it'll be easier, as my devotion is absolute. Your glory will be restored.
Wherever it is, show more respect and come back when I'm not busy.
General, it's just that those photographs you wanted developed. I've got an initial set of proofs and... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Well, shut the door, man, and come in. Ignore him. It's just paint and a bit of canvas. Now, remember, boy, it has to exude nobility and...
Charisma?
Exactly. Knew there was a reason to keep you around, Matthews. Certainly seem to be able to find the right words when they're needed.
A portrait? Why get it painted out here?
But to catch the moment. Encapsulate the atmosphere of my inevitable triumph with this expedition. On the cusp of the week that is due to happen. Well, you wanted something? I'm terribly busy, you know. Cricket match due to start in an hour.
Well, I just told you. The photographs you wanted.
Oh, yes. Of course. No, definitely not. That one's appalling. I'm barely in shot.
You asked for a group shot of the expedition by the entrance to the hotel, and that's what you got.
Well, I suppose I'll have to do that. What on earth is all this about?
Well, they're the first pictures to come back from base camp. Harrison was taking general shots of the mountain, hoping there was a chance we'd catch sight of Lord Davy's team.
But they're overexposed, ruined. These are no use whatsoever. Look, there's a black mark right above the top of the north col.
It's not a fault with the film stock. I've checked the negative plates. These were taken sequentially over the course of 6 hours. If you look closely, the black mark is getting larger in each one. Then it's clearly moving down towards Camp 2. I've asked some of the local Sherpas, and they've no idea what it is. Cloud formations at that height are white.
The cloud formations?
If you examine it through a magnifying glass, its shape, everything about it, it looks like a black cloud.
But it's not on this last one.
That's the mystery. It suddenly vanishes.
Balderdash. Arrant nonsense on your part, Matthews. That's the only one of any use. Black clouds? Well, you can start the next part of your account. Today I started seeing things. Now, be off with you. This fellow is still trying to capture my nobility on canvas.
Yes, General. Of course, General. 3 bags full, General. Arrant nonsense. He's ruddy fluent in it.
These people, why do some of them stare and point at us like that, Doctor? Maybe they've spotted the celery.
I'm afraid to say it's all to do with the social structure. We're in a hand-drawn cab, obviously able to afford some degree of comfort, and they're begging in the streets.
Lepers, mixing with everyone else? There are kids here. I saw it so often around the poorer parts of my city. My father's guards would move them away before a procession to spare us from seeing them.
But that's appalling.
It must have been my 4th, maybe my 5th year. Sitting by my father's side as we were carried through the streets, the guards had to clear the way ahead. We'd only stopped for a brief time, but in the shadows I saw a boy. He can only have been my age or maybe a year less. He smiled, reached out towards me, offering a scrap of food he was eating, but then we started to move. He was a leper, Perry, and there was nothing I could do about it then either.
Talking of crowds,
What's going on? Why have we stopped?
Can't quite see. There appears to be some sort of commotion going on just ahead of us. Beggars are swarming around somebody. I think he's trying to reach us. Good afternoon. Are you heading for the cricket match? Can we give you a lift?
I can't. Not here. If I try, the crowd could turn against me. They might try to stop me.
He's just standing there, staring at us.
Well, he's certainly not local.
That gear he's wearing.
Definitely a European interpretation of what it would take to survive in the snow, but I can't remember the nationality of any other expeditions during this time period.
How reassuring to see such culture and refinement at this time of day.
Oh, well, I'd hardly say we could be accused of that.
No. It's instinctive for aristocracy to recognize similar bloodlines. Tell me, what brings you to such a wasteland for mankind with your young companion and,
My secretary, Miss Brown.
What? I am not your...
Harry! Nothing more mysterious than the crack of leather against willow, I'm afraid. I'm keeping a long-held promise to play in a match in the grounds of the Grand Imperial Hotel. Have you heard of it?
Who hasn't? It has a style you'll quickly become accustomed to.
You're staying there yourself?
Not anymore, but rest assured that your fellow guests will be most welcoming.
Perhaps we'll see you there later.
I dare say you will, in one form or another. Until then, farewell, my lady. We'll meet again.
What a curious fellow.
What was that noise? It sounded like voices.
What are you talking about?
As he kissed my hand, just as he left, I heard... whispering.
Oh, probably just your senses adjusting to the altitude, I remember. The further we move towards the mountains, the higher we are above sea level. A gentle breeze can sound like a hurricane until you get used to it.
No, I'm sure it was... Oh, but maybe you're right.
Just relax. Take in the surroundings and try to enjoy the journey.
She is the key to make the darkness all-powerful. She is the source of all darkness's light. She is the power to bring their return. She is the key to make darkness all-powerful. She is the source of all darkness's light. She is the power to bring their return. She is the key to make darkness all-powerful. She is the source of all darkness's light. She is the power to bring their return. Darkness, all-powerful darkness, light, return, return, they will return, they will return!
That's more like it, Matthews. Now keep it up, man.
If I could just have a few minutes, General. My line of work doesn't normally call for this sort of thing. I don't normally get the time.
There's always time for cricket. Why do you think I've arranged this match to take place?
Now that you come to mention it, I mean, the turnout's not been what you could call spectacular. Just your own men and a few Sherpas.
Oh, they will come, they will come. I have every faith in the fact. Even in the farthest outposts of our empire, there will always be a part of England that stands firm in all that it holds dear and makes time for sport.
What about football, rugby, tennis?
Oh, why bother with games for amateurs and the poor when you can partake in a challenge for real men? Now hurry up, come on, bowl! How's that? What in the name of...
I do believe you've been caught out, General.
Forgive the use of the vernacular, probably not a term you're familiar with, yeah?
Now look here, sir.
General Alexander Bruce, if I'm not mistaken. I've read your essays on the defeat of Rorke's Drift and the threat of the Kaiser in Europe. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Well,
Nice touch.
It's an old trick. I used it quite a lot in a past life.
And, if you don't mind my saying so, you are...
My invitation. I'm sorry I'm so late. There were delays at the station in Darjeeling.
There you go, Matthews. Stuck in a bit of traffic. Rest of them are sure to follow.
I'm the doctor, and these are my travelling companions, Airmen.
Oh, never mind all that for the moment. Get your coat off and you can bowl. Let poor Matthews here get his breath back. And you, Miss...
Aramem.
There are refreshments on the veranda over there. I'm sure the doctor's secretary will look after you.
Now look, I am not...
Oh, come on, Doctor. Let's see what you're made of.